weather on NBC 10 Boston, Boston's most accurate forecast.
Mel, I'm just going to geek out for a moment.
Yes, please do.
Because this moment I was so excited when I got to see this right in my backyard. It was an absolutely stunning sight in the sky last night. Some of us were lucky enough to see the Aurora Borealis. Of course, this is a time lapse from Lindleboro, New Hampshire right here. And look, even if you didn't have the time lapse technology there, I mean, you could take a picture and it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
I'm so jealous you got to see that. I slept right on through it.
I should have called you.
Tevin Wooten is back with the science behind this. Tev, what's going on?
You guys, this was a very intense solar storm, or northern lights, or Aurora Borealis, rather, caused by a solar storm. And it's called the Northern Lights because, well, it originates at the North Pole. So if you were to go to Alaska or Russia, you would frequently see this sight. But to see it so far south, that is what was so amazing. Why did we see it so far south? Well, let's start at the beginning. Of course, it is a solar storm, so it generates and origins at the sun. The sun emits particles and waves from the sun towards the earth, and they don't directly go at the equator. They go to the North Pole, Aurora Borealis, or the South Pole, which, by the way, there is a such thing as the Southern Lights. When those charged particles interact with gases in our atmosphere, then we see the color that's emitted because of the solar storm. And there were several different colors that were emitted last night. Nitrogen, of course, one of the most prominent gases in our atmosphere at low altitudes, about 60 miles above the ground. You get the blues and the hints of purples and the light blues as well. Green, because of the oxygen that's present in the lower altitudes, up to about 150 miles above the ground. And then north of 150 miles above the ground, you get the oxygen particles, rather, that causes the reds and the pinks. And it was quite the sight to see a very intense solar storm. This was a G4 on a 5-point scale. This was the view, by the way, over Pierce Pond in Leominster, courtesy of Emily Quill here. You could see the pinks and the reds, then you get the greens, and then, of course, the blues and purples down below. So that just shows you, by the way, how the atmosphere is stacked in several different layers. If you've got photos, because I know you do, and you want to share them, you could send it to shareit@nbcboston.com via email, or you could send it to me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, everywhere that you are, we are as well, just to get you the latest science information and get you the latest forecast on the Aurora. Tonight, well, bad news. I know that Mel missed it. Tonight, the chances are not as great. Look at that forecast here. Moderate. Yesterday, we were in this category, severe. Remember that G5 on a 5-point, G4 rather, on a 5-point scale. This is a K index, so it breaks it down a little bit more. So it's not exactly translated, but pretty close. A K of an 8, that made it as far south as Florida, the Bahamas, Arkansas. This was a very intense storm. So if you missed it and you want to view it again tonight, at the very least, we don't have any clouds in the sky tonight across southern New England, but the odds of seeing it at the very least with your naked eye are not as great because the aurora will not be as bright. Temperatures right now in the upper 50s to low 60s. We'll work our way up slowly but surely to the upper 60s for highs today. In the next few hours with dry skies tonight, it's moonlit tonight, maybe aurora lit if you're lucky, and 57 degrees, so it's a little bit more milder. High pressure overhead is what keeps us nice and dry until Sunday morning is when that first branch of rainfall pushes in, and this system really races on through Monday with colder air rushing in. So if you thought this morning was cold, here's your 10-day forecast. Keep the jacket handy, my friends. You'll need it next week. Just want to point out Tuesday and Wednesday, the highs at 54 are our low temperatures tonight. So the change is occurring pretty quickly.